Go ahead. Okay, welcome again. Today we are going to talk about Chapter 17 of Mac operating system with Linux operating system. So we will have a quick introduction about them. We will learn about them, the basics, and I will let you see a live Linux because I have one Linux on my machine. I couldn't link my iMac or my MacBook Pro to be linked with the session, so I cannot let you see it over here. And even if I brought it in, you cannot see the camera because it's removing everything except me. So technically, this is a virtual background. So to remove everything behind me. That's why I will let you see the Linux. Now, operating system X or operating system 10, which was designed by or developed by Apple Inc. for their line of Macintosh. It is a Unix-based operating system. The one that we see right this moment, the one that we know, it's a Unix-based operating system developed by Apple for the Macintosh, or we call it Mac for short. The Mac OS, now we know it right this moment, is the Mac OS, is the second most popular operating system in use for desktop. I don't want to mention anything else. I don't say operating system and that's it. I'm talking about desktop because if we involve mobile phones, Android will take the dominance over here. Then the second in line going to be iOS. Okay? Yeah. Nope. So, like most of Unix, Linux operating system, Mac operating system utilize a lot of open source project. Open source, whenever you have an open source, you have a good and bad side. Good side that it's free. You can use it without the need to have a license. The bad side, it's open source. So the hackers or the crackers or the bad people will have the opportunity to view the content of it and know the vulnerabilities in that system. However, the operating system was designed to run only on Apple product. It cannot run on any other product except Apple. So that's what when they created, they were like focusing to run only on Apple. You can see that there's no license for Macintosh, Mac operating system, and there's no iOS. Oh, it's hard to run it on a machine. It will not work. It will drive you crazy until you will be able to run it, and with that, you have a lot of errors. However, it is free to use. If you have like an Apple device, immediately you will have a free operating system to use it. So the Mac OS has come pre-installed on Macintosh system and it's not sold or distributed to run on another hardware. Mac operating system, they like to name them since the start of the 10 releases. They had a name different based on the release. So they have the Lion, the Mountain Lion, the Mavericks, Yosemite, El Capitan, Sierra, High Sierra, Mojave, and the most recent one, which is Catalina. Catalina was released, I think, last year. So until now, they did not release the other one. So I'm expecting to have a new one very, very soon. Maybe as we talk. So maybe yesterday, I don't know. Yes, like Mac OS is a portable operating system interface compliant operating system, which means it meets the specification for standard operating system outlined by the IEEE Society. The navigation for the user interface. This is okay. Let me stop and talk about Unix. In let me call it by the end of 1960s, AT&T decided to let go their operating system that they use at then and to use another one. So they let go and they made free the Unix. So they had an operating system and they put it for free. Developers come and start using Unix, but because it's free, they cannot resell it, they cannot distribute it until what they have as distributed as Unix. So that's why you will find that we have a lot of Linux, and we will come up talking about Linux, and we have Unix. And also, Macintosh took the Unix code and implemented. And when they implemented, they had their flavor. Let me call it that way. So we have different Linux, different flavors of the operating system, as well as different flavors or the flavor of Apple. Apple have the flat um, look of their systems. That's what they want. So front of you is the desktop for Macintosh or Mac OS. This is what we call a dock. Over here is the menu bar, and over here is the navigation. Technically, if you click over here on the Finder, this will show up. The Finder. Now this is the launcher. The Rocket one is the launcher where it's going to run and show this. Okay, this will have the applications and other things installed on the machine if you clicked on the launcher. So Finder, which is the file manager, included in the operating system. Then we have the menu bar where we have an opportunity to communicate in depth with the operating system. My Linux just turned off. Okay. Then we have the mission control. I think it's either F3 or whatever. And this is where it showed the mission. You can choose one desktop, second desktop, and you can add third or whatever. They just had it in Windows. They had before that in Macintosh for a long period of time. They have it on Linux also, but they just had it on Windows there where you can add more than one desktop. This is, as mentioned, if you clicked on the launcher or the launchpad, that's what show up. The spotlight, where you go and to kind of search everything on the machine, search maps, photos, videos, websites, other things. You can search anything that come back to your mind and you can find it. Now, these are gestures. If you have a touch screen or you have a touchpad, you can swipe with two fingers. So do this and you can swipe like that, and the desktop or the pages will move. Swipe left or right with four fingers. Okay, this will swipe between full screen applications. Swipe up with three fingers or four, like that way. It's going to open that launchpad. Separate apart the thumb and three fingers. So you do like this, three fingers and thumb. You spray them up. Will show the desktop bunch in, which is with two fingers you punch, is the zoom in or zoom out. Tab with fingers at the same time. Two fingers will have the right click. Tap and hold down with three fingers will take the control of the window, allowing to be dragged to another place. With Mac, we have a number of free applications showing up. We have a suite called iWork. iWork is just a replacement, not a replacement, but it's just like Office Suite. You don't need to have a license; it's free. So you have an application called Pages for word processing. You had Keynote for presentation. You have what? Separate sheet for numbers for separate sheet and other productivity applications in a replacement of the Office Suite. However, if you want to use Office, you can use Office as they have an application for Macintosh. Macintosh come with iCloud, which is the cloud-based services offering storage, application support, and syncing contact and photos, emails, and bunch more. Be careful, it was hacked in 2014. I don't know now. What we have more, but it's a good place to back up your phone. App Store is where you can download applications. Apple like to control everything, so they control the applications that's allowed to be installed. Now you will ask, can I install any other application not linked, not available in the App Store? Yeah, you can. If you have the DMG for it, you can. So you are not required only here, but you need to be careful when you download something from the internet. Share a Mac screen, which if it's share Mac screen, or another Mac user who is on the same network can view and control your display. System updates. Apple uses the App Store to release patches and update security updates for Macintosh operating system. Time Machine is just like a backup utility where you can enable Time Machine and you can go back in time as a backup tool. Forced to quit, in my opinion, it was one of the things that's really nice. If you click on the Apple sign on the Finder menu bar, the one that's at the top, you will see a drop down. From this drop down, there's an option called Force Quit Application. So if application is frozen and not closing, it's just like a task manager, and you really can end an application. So if you right click on the application itself, you will find quit. But if it's frozen, it will not respond. So force to quit will force it to quit. So it's nice tool. Remote disk. As Apple do not suggest that you can have a remote backup or ISO of your Mac operating system. However, if you want to have a backup for your device, you can create a backup and select a CD or DVD, and you can create a copy of your operating system as a way to back it up. System preferences is just like the control panel where you can control the entire thing from it. It's the system preferences over here. You have general, provide settings for body menu and Windows colors, desktop, and screensaver, as mentioned, dock, mission, language, and so on as we go through in terms of controlling the entire Mac. Save mode, sometimes called save boot, allow Mac operating system to boot with a slimmed down version of operating system that is normally loaded automatically, is not loaded. User install font are not loaded, and so on. So technically, it's one way to fix your machine if you need it. Utilities is another place. So you have an applications. Okay, you have system preferences and utilities. The utilities are the application that you can use to manage the device. So we have, for example, activity monitor is a utility that it will monitor the activity, the percentage uses for the CPU, time, threads, memory, energy, disk, and network. Console is where all the logs of the system will be stored. Kernel panic is the top troubleshoot error that you will see, and technically you will get kernel panic and freeze and need to be restart, and you will have a lot of errors and you will hit yourself and you decide to throw it in the garbage, but afterward it will start working. So kernel panic is where the top of the error, you need to come see what's going on to know what's the error showing up to fix it. System information, you will have all information about your device. Keychain access, I hated, and I hated. 3 or 4 times I said I hated. So why? I'll tell you why. My personal experience. As an individual, work with a lot with security. So my password is not short password. It's not 8 or 10. It's like 14, 15 and up. and it's complicated. Okay, so the keychain access going, so utility place where they will store passwords, certifications, anything that is secured. They store it over there. So whenever you install Macintosh, it will ask you a question: do you want to um, to use the keychain access to store the password so you don't write it down again? And you'll say yes. So they will say you need to create a password to access the keychain. So you'll create a password. Then you will save the password. So whenever you want to update the password, you need to put the password to access the keychain. Whenever you want to use the password, you need to put the password for the keychain so you can they will release the password that the one that you use. It's something so complicated. And it's like popping whenever you have something to log in, pop. So I decided to let it go. So the first thing I did, remove the entire folder for the application, kernel panic, and I cannot have it. Second thing, I decided to tweak in the system, so I removed the content of the folder or the directory, the content of it, but I did not remove the folder name, and it's still now working fine, no problem. You see that my pen cutting sometimes. There's places where it cut. Okay, so this is the keychain. What we have more? Yeah, that's the nice thing, that you put a password in order for you to open it. Disk utility is where you can go and manage your disk, whether you want to create a partition, format it, clean it, do whatever you want to do. Bootcamp is where you can use this utility to load Windows on your Mac. You're paying a $3,000 to have an iMac, so you will pay $200 license to use it on Windows. So why you are paying $300,000 just to get the iMac? Use Mac with it. But people do that. They will buy the device. They will have a couple of $1,000 just to buy the iMac, and they will go ahead and create a bootcamp, and they will install a Windows that need to have a license, which is $200, $199.99. Why? Okay, terminal. Terminal is where you go and type whatever you want to type as command, just like a CMD. Terminal is just like a CMD, but you will put commands and you will execute commands, and you have a bunch of commands, not only that. These are the common ones. Introduction to Linux. In 1991, a developer called Linus Torvalds created a widely used operating system platform that is similar to the trademark Unix, a group of operating systems that grew from the AT&T developed Unix. It is the meant to be free, open source operating system that everyone can use, contribute, and modify as needed. Because of this, it's widely used in many different areas in technology, such as servers. I have 2 servers online using CentOS. Servers, desktop, embedded systems, most of the smartphones, most of the systems that's like cars and so on, they use some downgraded version of Linux. The terminology Linux can be confusing sometimes, but who's new to it, the name Linux refers to the operating system kernel. The kernel is the heart of the operating system, and so on. And the LIN is for Linus, his name, the first letters, and the Unix. So Linux, we don't know. Front of you, we have a bunch of distributions. So we have Ubuntu, widely used in the United States. Debian, Mint, widely used over here. I had a student who advised me to use it. I like it. I use it a lot. It is just like Windows. It has a lot. It has an application where it's called Wine, and you can use .exe files. Mint has much more, almost complete. It's a has like an app place app manager to update it and so on. So my advice for you, if you decided to go to use Mint, so let me say why you want to use Mint. If you have an old machine that is 4 GB, for example, it's a 32-bit operating system processor, go ahead and download the 32-bit Mint. It's fine. It will work fine. I use mine. I have 8 GB on one of my computers. However, I use on it. I had installed Mint, then I switched it to Kali. Then I decided to take it back to Mint. So anytime I will switch it to Mint. Choose Red Hat, Fedora, one of the widely used ones. CentOS, Gentoo, Arch, and Kali. I use Kali. I have Kali over here. Do you know what Kali used for? Who knows? Who can give me a guess? Who can give a guess? Give a guess before I log in. Yes. No. Okay. Kevin said it. Kevin said it like nicely. Kevin said security, and Rafael was like straight hacking. Yes, used for both, by the way. So I'm going to switch you to the other screen so you see my Kali in a few, because you will like it. If you start playing around with it, you will love it. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Share content. Go my Kali. Do you see my Kali? Okay. Do you want to play around? Do you want to hack? So, okay. TCP dump. ETH0. I'm going to pull right this moment all communication happening right this moment on my network, on my home network. I'm not going out, so I'm not doing something illegal. Oh, my password. Go ahead. So you see right this moment, these packets traveling right this moment on my network. You can see where I'm. Do you see Comcast a lot over here? So these packets coming from a place, going to another place, and it's going to search, keep searching until I end it, or I simply go here. I did turn off everything. Okay, let me see what's happened. I turned off something. That's not good. Go here. Go to. I did something wrong. Oh, you'll see it. Wire shark and put password. Yeah. So technically, let it. So this thing that you see, it can do the same exact thing. So I'm going to end this, and I'm going to do it over here. So this is my network that's working right this moment. I'm going to pirate on it, so it will start pulling information. So technically over here, I can see much more. So I can manipulate everything. Okay. If you read it correctly, most of no, not the same. Just have a look at it. Do you see how this look? We have Ubuntu on the NetLab, and you'll see how it's different. No, it's not the same. Different look, different feeling, different activity, different things. Like that's real. That's wrong. That's talking between each other. Okay, let me stop it. Quit without saving. So this is security. So it will come preloaded with a specific application. Like, do you see these applications that come with Kali? That's it's used for information gathering, vulnerability analysis, web application analysis, database assessment, password attacks, wireless attack, reverse engineering, exploiting tools, sniffing, and so on. So it's meant to have all applications that you need for hacking. If you go to, oh, that's empty. Let me go switch you back to my screen. So if you go to the screen, so if you go to another one, which is Mint, I'm going to pull Mint picture so just see it. I hope that I had loaded Mint Linux, and this is Mint. I love it. I'm not kidding. This thing is like, wow. This is Mint. This is the desktop of Mint. That's the most clear Linux I saw. Okay. For example, I cannot update Kali without going and coding. So you need to have coding. In order for updating Kali, I need to go to the terminal and put a code called npt get update and then upgrade to upgrade it. Over here, Mint, for example, you have an application are designed just for updating. Okay, so no, not all of them the same. The usage of them is different. All of them sharing the same exact idea, just the idea. All of them using the same exact original code. All of them using exact things, but the desktop, for example, the one that you just saw over here in Kali, called the XFCE. We have Genome, we have the XFCE. So we have a lot desktops, different from one flavor to another. Yeah, did you notice what I did? I closed this by mistake. You'll see it. Don't know what's happening. Okay. Okay. So front of you, for example, the desktop of Ubuntu. Now, why people like Ubuntu? They created it to look like Macintosh. Okay? Who create Ubuntu want to give the feeling that this is a twisted Macintosh. Okay? So there are many type of graphical user interfaces for Linux, such as Genome, KDE, XFCE, and Cinnamon. By the way, Mint use Cinnamon. Kali, I'm using right this moment because you can choose one of them. I'm using the XFCE. So if you want, you can use the Genome. It's back to you. Each one have a unique tools. Each one have, like, for example, the one that you see called Unity. Unity is the name of the graphical user interface for Ubuntu. It has the similarities to the interface of Macintosh operating system. So they did it for that reason. Launcher is the shortcut bar on the left-hand side. So we have a dock in Macintosh. Over here we have the launcher on the side. Panel is the top menu. So the top menu is the same, but rather than top menu or the menu bar, we have it panel, and so on as we go through. Dash is the universal search tool that's embedded in the launcher. That's for Ubuntu. By the way, if you want to practice on it, go to NetLab, go to Ubuntu, and enjoy it. You have it over there. A lot of free application. The gparted is the disk management allowed to create, delete, and resize partitions in Ubuntu, called gparted, which you can assign the ext3 ext4, which we call it extension 3, and extension 4, which is the third generation extended file and the fourth generation extended files system. Then we have the ZFS file system that focuses on data integrity and can be do integrity checks. And the PTRFS, which is ButterFS, which is a counter to the successful of the ext4. Software updater, where you can update and install softwares that is on Ubuntu. Also, we have backups where we can sync backups on Ubuntu. So, most of the time you are going to use a command interface. Let me switch you back. So I'm back here. I'm going to call the terminal. And I like it because there's a lot of similarities. So for example, if I put pwd, it will say print working directory. If I went ahead and I said, hey, go ahead and list everything for me, and I can change directory to another places. Sorry, I cannot see. So I went to the home and I'll say, what's here is like just my name. Again, change this to the top and list everything, and you can see the entire system. And I can go from one place to another. I can say, hey, change this to the root, and I don't have permission, so sudo to the root. You will ask what the meaning of sudo. Ow, I cannot. Why? Change directory is not a command. That's not nice. Sudo is where you want to take control of administrative rights. You will say sudo. Switch user something. What we have more? I can put, for example, IP A. It gives me all information about IP address. Or I will say if config, not IP config, not like Windows. If config, and why is this? Oh, I will tell you why. Sudo. Now I go to the configuration of the IP addresses. If I said if or IW config, and now I will go to the configuration of the wireless device. And I have no wireless. What I have more? I can copy, I can get updates. For example, I will let you see. So sudo apt get update. I'm pulling out updates. So it will load them, but will not upgrade them. So in order for me to upgrade it, I need to order Macintosh, not Macintosh, Kali to upgrade it. Okay, so let it pull out, and we will switch screens until it's complete. It takes time, by the way. So you can see what they do, what you can do with everything, all the commands. Oh, it's done. Upgrade. And we have a bunch of stuff. There is 598 upgraded, 0 uninstalled, and 0 removed, and 89 not upgraded. Do you want me to upgrade it? Yes, why not? So, best practices, how you want to keep your, whatever operating system we are talking, always perform scheduled backups, schedule disk maintenance, perform system updates, perform driver and firmware updates, perform patch management to security patches, and install updates and anti-malware, or updated and anti-malware. Be humble. This is the end of the chapters. Questions? Come on, questions. No questions? The bash shell? You mean your group? Okay, that's between you. You need to give me an application with 5 lines. And I remember that I've already created the patch shell. The patch which technically uh, I've already gave you this. You remember? I already covered this. First class. Oh, that's a different story. Bash. I did not use Bash with Kali. Never, ever, ever. I don't remember I'm using it. .sh is the shell, but I don't use it. I'll pull you over here. Down here. NetLab 03. Now I want to discuss things for you. But before that, let me go ahead and pull out something very important. Classes, assessments. Okay. Now, if you log in to NetLab, you will see your assessment. This is your assessment, by the way. There's no expired date for it. So I left it open for you. Okay? So this is where you do your skill test. If you go here, okay, come on here. My fscj.edu. Go to, come on, I don't need to log in. And by the way, it's still updating Kali. Didn't finish. So your midterm or your skill test will look like this. It has more about it in it, but it will look like this. So what I'm going to do is downsize work of what you should do. So if you come here and say practice skill test 1, and you will practice it, view the practice skill test 1 over here, and you download a file, you save it to your machine, and after you complete, you submit your, that's just a way to tell how to do it. So you will come here, you click over here, you will view it. So it's a hands-on sample on test 1. So let's go ahead and log in and create something. So I will go here, reserve lab, and I will schedule lab for myself. I'm going to choose assessments. And I'm going to say click here. Choose the pod. Come on. So now 30 minutes, much more than enough. Okay. That's mine. This is another student doing his work. Do you want me to see what he's doing right this moment? I can log in. But this is in the other class, not your class. So let's go ahead and go here. So the save mode, we will go to it. We will start. This should only open a CMD. Don't open a desktop. It will open only a CMD. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this on the other side so I can see it. Let me remove the participant. No. Oh, I didn't take your attendance. That's not nice. Remind me to take attendance. Let me do it until it's open. So Raphael's here, Steven here, Troy, don't see it, Emily here, Kevin here, Robert here, Mario here, Troy.
No, Professor, I'm here.
Why I didn't see you? Oh, it's over. You're there. You're at the bottom. Okay. So now this is what showed up. Now the instruction will read: create a folder called Go, a folder called Fish, a file in the Go folder called file1.txt. The content of the file as follows: help me. Copy the file to the fish folder, assign the file 1 in the folder Go folder, the read-only attributes, prove it for the instructor. Okay? So that's part 1. So we will say mkdir go mkdir fish type, oh no, not type, echo file1 dot txt help me so and now, oh no, I didn't create it inside. Okay, I did one mistake. I need to redo it in a different way. So cd go, because now I don't have anything inside here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do echo file help me .txt. Then I'm going to say dir. I will see that I have a file inside the Go. They want me to copy, so copy file1.txt, because I'm in the same exact place, to C / Windows / system 32 / fish. Find the file specified. No, why? Oh, called help. That's not nice. Let me make sure. I think my command has one mistake in it, or echo some text. Okay, that's why. I'm in Go, so let's go ahead here. Echo help me and file 1.txt. So let's see. Now I have a file 1 called file 1. Now let me copy this and take it to another place. So one file was copied. So if I go say cd fish, I'm in fish, I will say dir, I will see the file exists over there. Okay? Now in your instruction, it will read after we create this and we copy it to fish. Assign the file 1.txt in the folder Go, the read-only attribute. So number 1, I need to say change directory 0 / go, and refer to the top, the parent folder. Go. Now I'm in Go. I will say att RIB, assigning, so it's plus sign. No, that's not equal. Plus sign. And read only R file1.txt. Okay? Prove it by taking a screenshot. Prove it that you did not do it through a GUI. Okay, so you take a screenshot of this. Good? Questions? Now, after you complete, you should go to the other machine and start WordPad. Use the task manager to stop the application. So you should go to the other machine and you call, come on, WordPad. You run it, then right click, start task manager. Now, if you click end task, I will not know if you open it correctly or not. So before you end it, before you click on end task, take a screenshot over here where your pointer is pointing to end task. Okay? And this is the end task. And this is other things. Use disk monitor. Okay, you want to go and say locate and document technical information about the computer, amount of RAM, CPU, computer name, and so on, simply by going to the system. So just write system information, and you will see it over here. Everything about it, the RAM, everything over here, the total virtual memory, the physical memory, everything is listed over here. Okay, that's, the number. Use monitoring troubleshooting tools, including Event Viewer, Task Manager, MMC Device Manager to schedule task schedule advanced on the desktop. So technically, you come here and type computer management, and you will see over here what you're looking for. So if they asked you to schedule a task, you schedule the task. If they wanted to view the current or the most updated task, you can see it from here. If they ask you to do something with the hard drive, to format or whatever, you can do it from here. Okay? Device manager, exactly what they want. So if they ask you to create a task at 4 p.m., what you will do? Computer management, create a task, and so on. If they ask you to create a restore point, that's a different location. Questions? No questions. Okay, if you don't have any other questions, then good luck. We will meet here on the 22nd.